Produced by Podcast Architects.
Welcome back to The Path Forward, Part 2 with Dr. Michelle Cavazos.
Okay, all right. First question. If you had theme music when you entered a room or a meeting, what song would you choose?
Walking on Sunshine. Why not? That's going to be my intro and outro, right? Walking
on Sunshine? Oh, gosh.
Doesn't that make you happy?
It does. I would not have picked that.
What would you have picked? What would your song for me have been? Song choice.
Here Comes the Queen. What's the British bagpipes? You know, when the Queen.
Never heard. Oh,
when the Queen
the Queen?
She's making the entrance, right?
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Dancing Queen.
No. Like you know, you know what it is like when she makes the entrance and it's the very formal. Mm-hmm. You know.
I'm not that.
No, I know.
Yeah.
What was that? You had to.
I'm just engaging. You know, I'm a big dork.
Walking on Sunshine. Okay. Question number 2: yes. If you had to eat one thing for the rest of your life for every meal, what would you choose?
It would one thing.
Not
genre of food.
You could
you
can't
genre of comida.
No, you like a cheeseburger, and you can name the place like cheeseburger from blah blah blah.
Oh no, I wouldn't be able to name a place, but it would either be Italian or Mexican food because I love pasta.
Okay,
but it's just bad for me.
Well, everything.
You totally threw me back in high school. I was in this study. Sorry if you have to edit this out, but
it's all right.
It was with the university, and they I had to eat steak every day it was like a week for every meal. It was something to check on our blood hemoglobin. I remember I was in high school and so I would make steak tacos. I would like steak spaghetti because they provided the steaks, and I had to to test I think blood oxygen because I remember running on the treadmill with all the tubes.
In high school?
Yeah, I signed up for a study and got to eat steak every day.
Where was the study from? The
Iowa State University. Because I grew up in Iowa.
So Iowa State's giving y'all type 1 and type 2 diabetes as y'all are.
Steak does not cause diabetes.
Well, I didn't have access to the
health science programs that we have in Gregory-Portland ISD.
I'm in there making ashtrays for my teacher that was smoking cigarettes, Marlboro Reds every day. So yeah. So you had to mix in the steak with the corn, because y'all eat a lot of corn in Iowa, right?
Sweet corn on the cob.
So okay. All right. If you're on death row, what's your last meal?
Hopefully, I'm never on death row.
Okay.
Jeez, thanks.
Well, give me another.
I think that's Mr. Subliminal.
No. Let's see. If you're on your way to heaven and it's your last meal.
I just like food in general. What would it be? I love spaghetti. I love a good, medium rare steak.
Okay.
Mashed potatoes, but I like good seafood. And actually now I'm spoiled living here. I can't have seafood anyplace else because it's the best here. So
you're saying you'd have the buffet? You could hit the buffet before?
I could hit the buffet. I probably wouldn't get to eat very much because I get full really fast now. I like food.
I was gonna guess pasta. I don't know why, but I just was gonna guess pasta.
Yeah.
Because pasta's, how can you go wrong?
I love spaghetti.
Yeah, spaghetti, meatballs.
Or mac and cheese and tuna and peas or.
Tuna and peas?
Yeah, you mix it all and get your protein and veggies. God, it's a fake veggie, you know.
Okay. That sounds horrible. Were you
you don't have to have it. It's more for me.
You can have it. Were you a bring your lunch or buy your lunch kid?
What was I? Well, for one elementary, I would eat school lunch because I remember the lunch ticket. What I remember is that I was on reduced lunch, and the lunch tickets, so there was little pockets, and they were different color. Yeah. And I always remember being embarrassed because everybody knew that I didn't pay full price. It was there was a stigma to it. Now, fortunately, you just say your number.
No.
Well, actually, we in GP, and next year our board's already approved to pay for all breakfast and lunch for all of our families next year.
What?
So, yes.
What it say? Well, how are y'all doing that?
Well, it's part of our so on our balanced scorecard, priority 1 is improve student outcome. Grow
Okay.
all of our students in math, reading, and in college career readiness. And we know, and our student nutrition and our board knows that when you are well fed,
Yeah.
you are more ready to learn. And so we wanted to make sure that all of our kids have access to free breakfast and lunch. And we've been able to do that through the community eligibility provision for the last several years. And it's expiring. It expires next year.
Right.
For most of our campuses, or for some of our campuses. But we said to our board, hey, would you be willing, this is what it would cost. Would you be willing to allocate, our recommendation is, could we pay next year? We're going to have to pay
Right.
at some point, probably in 23, 24.
Mm-hmm.
But if we can push that off another year, why not?
Absolutely.
And our board said, yeah, this is the right thing for our kids to be able to provide that for them and for our families.
I mean, that's huge because that just takes one, particularly now, right? With everything going up, like gasoline is ridiculous. Like everything is just going through the roof. To be able to give that to families and your kids, and so that's just one less thing that we've got to worry about. I mean, that's huge. That's huge. So that's congratulations to you guys and your board for being able to get that done. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you're a bring your lunch. No, you're a buy your lunch.
So I bought my lunch. Sorry, thank you for getting
Yeah,
it back.
that's all right.
And then when we moved, I moved to a different elementary, and my mom started to stay at home. And so I lived a block from the elementary. So I could, at that time, elementary could go home
Yeah.
and then come back, even in the winter, because, from up north, we'd walk in the snow and go. And then at junior high and high school, I would eat it at school.
I do remember, so you talked about the lunch tickets. And so our process was you would get your name called when free and reduced lunch, right?
Yep.
And there was a hole punch. And so
Yes.
take your yellow card in front of everybody, and I'd go out of the line, and she'd say, click, click, and hand it back. And, I didn't know anything. I wasn't aware enough to be embarrassed about it at the time, not till after the fact. And I was still like in middle school, and I'm like, oh man, this ain't good.
Right, yeah.
Like, oh, poor.
Yeah.
But to be able to remove that barrier and perception is really a good thing. That probably should have happened a long time ago. But good that kids don't have to worry about that. I will tell you the worst meal I was ever packed. Sorry, Mom, I'm going to tell the story. So I was, most of the time I would bring my lunch, and I unzip my bag. If there's a sandwich, and so it's 2 pieces of bread and mayonnaise and Vienna sausages. So it was a Vienna sausage mayonnaise sandwich. It was the worst thing that I had ever seen in my life. And I ate it because,
That's what you had.
it's what I had. But like I remember looking around and like, no one is going to want to trade me for this thing today. So I'm just sitting there, and this little Vienna sausage, they're a little small. So I take a bite, and like 7 of them would fall out of the bread. And it was just like, the bread was crumbling. It was just a sad sight. Like I wish I had a video camera of just seeing that poor kid just like crumbling the bread and Vienna sausages going everywhere.
And your mom was probably like, am I putting my love into this for my sweet little boy?
He likes hot dogs, so I'm like,
And I know he's going to love this, and this is the best I can provide him.
it's probably so. And I ate it, but wow, that was traumatic. It really was.
It's funny, though, how food it conjures up different memories,
Oh, there's no question.
whether you have it or you don't, or, square pizza.
Yeah.
Here, the big deal is Tuesday Chicken Nugget Day.
Do y'all have good chicken nuggets?
Heck yeah. Now, supply chain issues make it challenging, but
You sure
Chicken Nugget
they're
Day-
chicken?
Yes, absolutely. Because our director of student nutrition will give nothing but the best to our kids.
That's awesome.
So he makes sure it's not pieces and parts.
It's not it's not Vienna sausage nuggets.
It's not Beyond Chicken.
Oh yeah. Oh gosh. Yeah. Oh, I remember eating spam. Like a little spam.
Oh, bologna. Have you heard, what's it called? Braunschweiger? Comes in a tube, and you slice it and put mayo, and I think it's ground up liver. I don't know what it is.
Oh, that sounds horrible.
It was cheap
Spam sandwich.
because you could get that in government cheese
Yeah,
from the grocery store.
I remember that. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, that does conjure up. Vienna sausages were horrible.
Aren't our kids lucky?
Oh,
Our children are yeah.
yeah, we just mow that grass right in front of them just so they don't trip on anything, don't we? Yeah, my kids are like, hey, Dad, what do you, is it DoorDash? What's going on with
Is
dinner
it
tonight?
Whataburger,
Yeah.
Chick-fil-A, or what is tonight?
You fry them up some Spam with the butt ends of the toast like I had. Maybe you're lucky to squirt some ketchup on it. Who knows?
There you go.
Anything we didn't cover that you want to cover? Let's have some shout outs. You got some people you want to shout out?
Oh my gosh, we've got such an amazing team. Last week we hosted the state forensics association competition.
Okay.
And so our custodial and maintenance teams, along with our theater directors, organized a great competition. We got lots of kudos from around the state from the different directors.
Awesome.
So all our auxiliary staff is top notch. They always are going above and beyond. But beyond that, they always have such a positive attitude. They've got a smile for everybody, and you can tell they really love their jobs and what they do.
That makes all the difference, doesn't it?
It does.
All the difference in the world.
And in all of our employees, our teachers, man, the way that they come each day driven to support our kids and try to seek, okay, what's going to work with this student today? What's going to work with them tomorrow? And working and partnering with our families. There's so many amazing things happening. We've got an elementary school that started, they called it their dream team.
Okay.
And so they're bringing in their families and saying, here's your students' data. And here's where they started, here's where they are now, and here's where we think they can be by the end of the year. And here's what you can do at home. Here's some specific activities you can do at home to help them grow and partner with their teacher, which was really well received.
Awesome.
Yeah. And then our leaders at our schools they are juggling so many things like their teachers. It's different things that they're juggling, but they are so committed to their teachers and families and students, and continually advocating for them and seeking ways to make their jobs easier.
Yeah.
While also growing our students.
I mean, they're their cheerleaders on the boots on the ground, keeping the morale, because it can be tough at times.
Yeah.
It's challenging.
And our district administration really focused. I mentioned earlier about our balanced scorecard. We have 4 priorities, and they've, really kept the focus on that for improving our outcomes across the board in every area. And then I'm really super grateful to our families and our community. Our families, like I mentioned earlier, we have an amazing board. We have amazing families and an incredibly, really supportive community. On the grand scale. They helped support our last bond in 2020 that passed. It was a $107.7 million bond, and we know that bonds aren't passing everywhere in the state of Texas.
No, they are not.
But that just really shows their commitment, our community and our families' commitment to our kids and what they want for them and seeing what they can provide through their support for our kids and their futures.
What you're describing is, we were talking about earlier, teachers and retention, and how do you attract teachers, how do you keep your teachers? But I think the things that you're doing and you're saying are more impactful than, the raises that we try to give, or sometimes the fringe benefits if we can do anything with. But just being in a district that is going to be supportive of what your career is going through in the moment and beyond, and then going to be there when there's need, right? So like your school board supporting, like, we need this and this to give the best outcomes for our kids, and to continually do that in a consistent manner over time. It's hard. It's hard to do. I mean, there's a lot of districts who can do it one time or for 2 or 3 years, but to be able to maintain and continually provide for your kids and your community, that's rare, I would say. So kudos to you and your team.
Well,
your
thanks.
your
We do. We've got a lot of great people, and we are really focused on continuous improvement, though, too. We know that we have a lot of great things going on, but we can always be better.
Of course.
And so we're getting ready to roll out our second year of our satisfaction and engagement surveys with our community, our faculty, and our families. To get their input on what are we doing well and what could we do better,
Right.
so that we can then come up, what are the right actions to take to make it an even better place to be and to work and learn.
Sure. It'd be nice if some of our politicians would do some stuff like that, take some feedback from some of our teachers and communities about the state of education and what they can do to do a better job with it.
You know the work that educators do, and you value that, and you respect that. And so, yeah, you give me a hard time, but that's okay. It's a good sibling rivalry.
I mean, I'm so excited for you because, like, the potential is really endless here, and y'all are just crushing it. And I'm excited, but I'm also like, hey, some other people need to get on board and do the same thing, because I think it's possible for others to make some of those leaps that y'all have made. So
It is. I think a lot, I look at our vision of educate, inspire, empower. That came from our community, as we had a community advisory who came up with that. And, we talked earlier about there's all this negative rhetoric around education, but you know what? I look at and try to inspire our district and our community of let's control what we can control.
Right. Yep.
And we're going to focus on not just the great things, but continuously improving. Right. We're not perfect, and nobody is, but how can we learn as we continue to go forward? We expect our kids to learn from mistakes and keep moving forward.
We tell them all the time, don't we? Yeah.
And so it's the same for all of us. How can we just make today or this next minute better than the last minute, and just keep moving forward? We can choose to be unhappy, or we can choose to be happy. We can choose our response to what's happening around us. And when I look at our kids, and visit campuses and look at our employees, they're incredible. They're doing amazing things. Mm-hmm. And so how can that not be inspiring?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, I remember what I was going to ask you. If you weren't an educator, what would you be doing?
I would have loved to have been a pediatrician.
Really?
Yes. Because,
I'd love shots to people.
Well, I could give shots to children, and they wouldn't even know that they're getting a shot because I would distract them. We'd be talking about their favorite book or their favorite sport or what they've learned, and every single one of the little examining rooms would be a different book character. There'd be Lily from, with Lily's purple plastic purse, or there might be.
You've thought about this a little bit, haven't you?
Well, when my kids were little,
okay.
I had to take them to the pediatrician and, just think of, this would be so much fun. And one of my best friends is a pediatrician. And I'm just like, it would be so great, to help calm a child and their parent down, because not a lot of people like going to the doctor. And usually kids are getting shots, but then they get a little character Band-Aid and they're all good to go. And
so I got to tell you a quick pediatrician story. So, I was dad taking the 3-year-old. He wasn't feeling well. So I got the backpack with all of the stuff, the wipes, the diapers, goldfish, cars, iPad, like you name it.
iPad?
He's got to do something because,
Can't engage with them?
In the doctor's office, he's running wild, like licking people.
He's a little Rick.
Yeah. Oh, clearly.
Licking people. Okay. Anyways, you got the bag of gear. Yeah. Sorry.
So we go into the waiting room, and my biggest fear is like when you're waiting, like something to go wrong, and then like the doctor walk in, and I'm just there like helpless, and just Dr. Eddings, she's our doctor, she's fabulous, and she's just looking at me like, just give it here, get up, So anyway, it had been about 20 minutes. We're there, and I'm like, she's got to be coming in pretty quick. He uses the restroom in his pants, and I'll just say it's not containable. Mm-hmm. And so there's this trash can, and I've got to get the wipes, but you're supposed to seal it all up in a Ziploc baggie. I don't know where the Ziploc baggies are. He's laughing and squirming. He's on the table, and so I'm trying to minimize the collateral damage, if you will. And I'm just like, I'm starting to sweat because I'm like, she's going to walk in here and be like, God, what? Quit sending him. Like Dr. I can see Dr. Eddings thinking, quit sending him. Like, don't let him bring the kids to the doctor's by himself. She walks in, and I'm like, so she was like so helpful, of course, no, here, let me just hold him. And so I got it all together. But it was that classic panic of dad's not equipped to be able to try to manage all this at one time. We got through it, though. I was very proud of myself.
Congratulations.
Yes. It was a little
I could be that doctor that would be like, hey, you've got this, Dad. Come on. Take a deep breath.
You'd walk outside and like, hey, go in there. Look at this clown in there. He's got the diaper on backwards. Socks on the wrong foot. Whatever. So.
But he had a smile on his face, didn't he?
Oh, It loves. I mean, yeah.
See, so no harm done.
No.
Maybe a little stinkier, but
That poor doctor's waiting room. They probably had to hazmat after I was in there, but
there's worse things that could happen.
I'm sure there is. But for me, that was just.
It was mortifying.
Yeah, because at least I want to fake like I know what I'm doing. I have no clue. She's sitting there.
So fake it better next time.
And then I was like, do I change it? I'm like, oh, yes, I have to change it because the smell, I'm like, maybe we could just wait. No, we can't wait. It's like, this is going to go bad. So, lesson learned. Send mama.
No, lesson learned. Just suck it up and just like, hey, let's go with it.
No, send mom. Send mom.
But mentioned with priority 2 is about our employee satisfaction and engagement,
Yeah.
and so right now we currently pay the best of this region and many regions, but we also recognize that we want to make this where people, regardless of how much we pay, we want to make it that people want to be here because it's a great place to work.
Right.
The dollars, yes, make a big difference, but we also want it to be this amazing environment where people are like, I've got all the support, the access to resources, the support from the community and families, and
it all
I want to be there. Yeah,
it all
the whole package.
Yeah. Do y'all have in-house food services, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. I was trying to. Well, we had it done where we had Airmark when we were in TM to have a cost-neutral meal for staff for both breakfast and lunch, and we got it there. Of course, I was trying to do the same thing. I was like, look, I can't compete on the salary range, but what are the other?
What are some other things we can do? Yeah.
To make it a little less here. I mean, they gave us pretty much anything we asked for. I had the teachers had. We bought, like at Apple, they have the little food lockers, right? So you have an app and you type in what you want, and then there's got to be a little bit of a lead time, but then teachers can go. So if you theoretically you didn't have time to run out to get lunch, or you were meeting their team, you put it in the food locker.
That's cool.
Yeah, we were going to be the first school district in the nation to have it. Send
me that info.
It was Airmark. I mean, and I told them,
okay.
I said. The quality of what you're currently giving our kids is not
where it needs to be.
It's not where it needs to be. So we've got to do some different things, but those little pieces of just trying to make the little extra effort.
Yeah.
So now y'all have it rocking and rolling. I still haven't seen. I want to go see your CTE building at some point.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I love all that stuff.
We can go over there.
I know. I need to. I probably wouldn't leave. I'd be in there touching stuff that I'm not supposed to and stabbing.
Well, I won't let you go in those and just like walk down the main hallway and like keep you locked out.
I mean, like this, like a mime on the.
Yeah. Well, we can put you in the straitjacket and then you can go through there in the straitjacket.
And I did the blood splatter at. We had a forensics class in Tomball.
Yes.
And so I'd get all in the hazmat stuff, and the kids would whack the bodies, and the blood would go everywhere. Then we'd have to solve it. That was awesome. I used to love doing that stuff.
I know, right? Those crime scenes.
Yeah. As always, thank you for joining me, even though we're on camera now, so you got to say all the great things that are happening in Gregory-Portland ISD. And like I said, I'm so excited for you, and I'm excited for the success of your district and your community. So I truly enjoyed it, and thank you for sharing some time with me.
Thank you for the opportunity. I appreciate it. It's always great to talk about such an amazing place.
Yeah, very much. And
it's with a great friend too.
That's happy for all of your success.
Yes, thank you.